Hi guys, and welcome to my last SG Petch Sprint Championship vlog of the season, and what a season it's been as well, with all three title battles going down to the last round deciders. That's the lightweights, heavyweights and rookies. But the podium positions weren't decided either. Second and third places across all the categories went down to the last round too, so a really close battle through the season. And to make it tougher in the last round, it was a damp track with wet patches going into some of the braking zones, so it made it really hard on the brakes and turning to get it right without spinning. That said as well, a massive thank you to all the drivers who've taken part across the season. It's been a really good battle on track with a lot of drivers. I know there's been some incidents through the year and we're always going to have that, but a massive thank you to all the drivers who've come down and taken part. It wouldn't be the same without you. So, back to round 7, let's take a look at what happened on track. While not fully decided, Adam Delmont led the lightweights category by 81 points over Carl Parkin, meaning it was going to be a big ask for Carl to take the title this year. The real battle in the lightweights category was for third position though, with Ashley Savage, Ben Thornton and Owen Burton separated by just 19 points in the battle for third. Heading into the first round of the weekend, it was Ashley Savage who led the charge, qualifying in second ahead of rivals Owen in 7th and Ben in 16th. Race 1 seemed to be a battle for a lot of drivers. Standards seemed to be a lot better though, improving from round 6. Adam, leading the title, had a nightmare of a start, spinning on lap 1 and falling to the back of the pack. The same happened to Ben Thornton on lap 2. He'd gone from 16th to last after a spin. This handed a real lifeline to Carl, Owen and Ashley in the different battles for the championship positions. That said, Owen had a mixed round in race 1, and Ashley, he stormed ahead from position 2 on the grid to take the lead and stayed there for most of the race. Adam, in his battle for the championship, he recovered from last to 15th at the end of race 1, so he put himself in a really good position taking reverse grid pole. After a poor race 1, I found myself position 3 on the grid for race 2, and taking second off the line at the start, I didn't see what happened behind me. But looking at alpha timing, it seems like all hell broke loose in the mid-pack with a lot of drivers gaining and losing places. A couple of standout drives to mention though. Ben Thornton and James Aldridge starting 21st and 14th respectively joined myself and Carl Parkin in a battle for 3rd to 6th position by halfway through the race, so really good for them to get through the pack and be fighting at the front. Robbie Lowe also had a really good drive as well. He was 21st after lap 2, but he battled back to position 9 in the pack by the end of the race. Fantastic drive. Ultimately though, the championship position for 3rd came down to 1 point between Ben, Owen and Ashley. Ben's round was a shocker, he only scored 105 points, so really it just came down to the maths. It was a dropped round, and because of poor scores earlier in the season for Owen and Ashley, it meant that I took the place in the championship by 1 point. So I'm sure there was a lot of celebrations there and disappointment for Owen and Ashley as well. But it just goes to show that consistency across the season is really important. So, let's take a look at the table. In the heavyweights category, the championship title was the main event. There was just a handful of points between Liam Silkson and Cameron McLean going into the last 2 races of the championship season. Liam seemed to have the upper hand going into race 1 as well. He qualified position 9 on the grid, with Cameron struggling to 15th. Race 1 got off to a great start for both drivers. They made up 4 places each in the first 3 laps before settling into their races. The action really kicked off in the second half of the race though. Cameron was in a close battle with Callum Fennick, and they changed places a number of times before Cameron eventually finished position 12 in race 1. Liam dropped a couple of places to position 6, but managed to battle back to P4 by the end of the race as well for the reverse grid. This was going to be close. Race 2 saw Liam 12th on the grid with Cameron starting in strong position 4. By the end of lap 4 he converted that to a race lead and was in a really strong position to take the title. Liam dropped a couple of places off the grid but managed to battle back for position 8, and it was looking like a really close battle to the end of the race. Unfortunately on lap 6 his engine failed and he brought his car back into the pits to retire from the race, and ultimately that handed the championship title to Cameron by 20 points. So let's take a look at the final championship standings in the heavyweight category. In the rookies category, the title was all but wrapped up for Aaron Hubery. The real battle was for second and third positions in the championship, separated by just 9 points. Anthony Leather held position 2 and Matt Cossins was looking to take a step up on the podium. This was going to be a real close battle in the rookies because there's only one dropped round. Matt came out fighting in qualifying, managing to secure second on the grid. Meanwhile, Anthony appeared to be struggling back in 12th. A newcomer to the championship, Jody, he managed 15th on the grid. A really good performance in your first outing. From the off, Matt was in the driving seat for the P2 in the championship. He had a great start and then managed to take the lead on lap 4. Anthony, on the other hand, he had a good start as well, managing to climb 6 places to position 6 in the race. But by the end of lap 4, things went a little bit south. He dropped to position 15th and then struggled back to 13th by the end of the race. Matt continued to lead until just before the end of the race, when a late challenge from Dan Smith put him under pressure. Ultimately, Dan took the race win after taking the lead, but Matt managed to hold on to second and ultimately he'd done enough to take that second position in the championship. Here's a look at the final standings in the rookies category. So that's how the championships panned out in the 2018 SG Petch Sprint Championship. Congratulations to drivers who secured the podium positions in the championships. Unlucky to those who haven't and who haven't done quite as well as they thought they would. Regroup for next season. I know I'll be doing that. I finished 7th overall in the lightweights category this season. I was hoping for a little bit better in top 5 maybe, but I'm not too disappointed with 7th. I think given the standard of driving this season, I think it's a fair position for me to be in. I'm going to regroup for next season. I'm going to train harder, I'm going to try my best, I'm going to try and learn to get better in the wet as well. I think that's something that lets me down as well. So I know what I need to work on over the winter season. So all that's left to say really is a massive thank you to all the staff at Teesside Karting. You do a fantastic job when you get up early, come down to sort us out on a Sunday morning. Honestly, without you guys it wouldn't be the same because we wouldn't be organised and we wouldn't know what we're doing. So huge thank you from all the drivers on the grid to all the staff at Teesside Karting. And also to Paul Proud as well. You come down every month and you take loads of photos, share them all on Facebook, and it's really good of you to do that. I know a lot of the drivers appreciate that and use your photography for profile pictures and for other things as well. So that's hugely appreciated, thank you. And really that's it for the season, so thank you again to everyone who's raced. Keep your eyes on Facebook, keep your eyes on YouTube, there'll be further updates throughout the winter, and I'll see you on the grid next year.